My friend, let me tell you a secret that will surprise you. The richest people in the world often don't look rich. They don't walk around wearing gold chains. They don't drive flashy cars to prove something. They don't post pictures of luxury just to show the world how successful they are. And yet, they control the businesses, the systems, and the investments that shape the world. You see, real wealth doesn't make noise. Real wealth doesn't need attention. Real wealth is quiet, calm, and patient. Today, you'll learn why rich people look poor, and how this understanding can completely change your mindset about money, success, and self-worth. So, stay with me till the end, because what you're about to discover might just be the secret that frees you from financial illusion and helps you live smarter than ever before. 1. The illusion of richness. Let's begin by examining what most people believe about wealth. Many think that being rich is all about appearances, wearing expensive clothes, driving luxury cars, living in massive houses, and posting glamorous photos on social media. They assume that wealth is measured by what others can see. The truth, however, is far different. What people often admire as richness is actually just an illusion. True wealth is not something that needs to be displayed or proven to anyone. The real measure of wealth is the freedom it brings, not the luxury it shows. Many of the people who appear wealthy are not genuinely rich. They are pretending to be. They struggle to pay bills, carry heavy debts, and rely on credit cards to maintain an image of success. They may drive expensive cars or buy designer clothes, but these items are often purchased not out of necessity, but out of a desire to impress others. Their happiness becomes dependent on external validation, the opinions and judgments of people around them. This need for approval can trap a person in a cycle of stress, overspending, and superficial living. Rich people, on the other hand, see wealth in a completely different light. They understand that wealth is not about what the world sees, but about what you can do and the freedom you have in life. It's about having the ability to choose where you live, how you spend your time, and what kind of work you do. True richness allows you to live life on your own terms, without constantly seeking recognition or approval from others. While some may spend money to look successful, the truly wealthy spend money to grow their freedom, build assets, and create long-term security. This is the real secret. If you constantly feel the need to show off your money, it may be a sign that you are not financially free. Conversely, if you are truly wealthy, you don't need to prove it to anyone. Quiet confidence, discipline, and a focus on freedom replace the loud displays of wealth. The world may not know it, and that's perfectly fine, because true richness is lived privately and wisely, not displayed publicly. In short, remember this truth. If you look rich, you are probably not. If you are truly rich, you don't need to look it. Understanding this shifts your perspective entirely. It teaches you to focus on creating wealth quietly, valuing freedom over appearances, and building a life that is strong, independent, and genuinely rich. 2. The rich don't impress. They invest. Here's something most people never truly stop to think about. Every dollar you spend trying to impress someone could have been used to improve your life, your future, or your freedom. Many people live in a constant cycle of showing off, buying expensive clothes, flashy gadgets, or luxury items, all to gain attention or approval. Poor and middle-class individuals often fall into this trap, believing that appearances define success. Meanwhile, the truly rich think differently. They understand that money is a tool, not a trophy. Every dollar has potential, and its greatest use is to grow more wealth, not to showcase it. Consider this simple example. When a poor person earns $1,000, the first thought often is, what can I spend this on to feel successful? They may buy a new outfit, a fancy gadget, or a small luxury item. The satisfaction is temporary, but it feeds the need for recognition. On the other hand, a rich person who receives the same $1,000 asks, how can I make this money work for me? They immediately consider investments, opportunities, or self-development that can produce long-term returns. Their mindset is focused on creating value, not displaying status. The difference lies in understanding assets versus liabilities. An asset is something that generates money, while a liability is something that takes money away. The poor often buy liabilities that make them look good today: a new car, a designer bag, or a luxurious phone. But these items lose value over time and drain resources. The rich, however, buy assets, small businesses, stocks, real estate, or even knowledge through education and skill development. These assets grow quietly in the background, multiplying their wealth and creating freedom. This is why real wealth is often invisible. It's not in the clothes you wear or the car you drive, but in investments, businesses, skills, and the knowledge you accumulate. Rich people understand that temporary attention from possessions is meaningless. They don't chase the newest phone, trendiest shoes, or most expensive toys because these things lose value and external validation fades quickly. Instead, they focus on things that increase in value over time, like financial literacy, business ventures, or passive income sources. Their lives are centered on growth and freedom, not appearances. This is the secret many people fail to see. Rich people often look poor because they are too busy building their wealth quietly to show it off. Their focus is on the future, not on impressing others today. By investing wisely and thinking long-term, they create a life of true freedom, security, and independence. The kind of richness that no flashy item could ever replicate. 3. They value time over image. Let's go deeper into one of the most important secrets of the truly wealthy. They understand that time is more valuable than money. Most people focus on money because it is visible, tangible, and often tied to status. But money can always be earned again. Time, on the other hand, is irreversible. Once a moment is gone, it can never be recovered. This is the reason why rich people guard their time so carefully. They know that wasting hours trying to impress others or maintain a false image is one of the fastest ways to lose opportunities, growth, and ultimately, freedom. Rich people do not waste energy on appearances. They don't spend hours every day polishing their image for others, posting on social media to look successful, or buying unnecessary items to appear wealthy. Their focus is on building, learning, and creating. They invest their time in growing businesses, improving skills, expanding knowledge, or planning for long-term financial freedom. Every minute has purpose, and every action is deliberate. They understand that true wealth is not about being seen. It's about making an impact, creating value, and living freely. Meanwhile, those who try to look rich often fall into a trap. They chase likes, comments, and social approval, dedicating precious hours to selfies, social media posts, shopping sprees, or appearances at trendy events. Their life becomes a performance designed to attract attention, rather than a life built for growth. They focus on what people think of them rather than what they can achieve with their time. And while they may feel successful for a short moment, the reality is that their hours, days, and years are slipping away without creating real progress. This is why wealthy people often look simple. They wear basic clothes, drive modest cars, and live without unnecessary drama. Their simplicity is intentional. It allows them to focus on the things that truly matter. The luxury they value most is peace of mind, a calm life, and the freedom to decide how to spend each moment. They know that showing off or trying to impress is a distraction from what actually creates wealth and fulfillment. So, my friend, if you ever feel pressure to look successful, remember this timeless truth. Time wasted trying to look rich is time stolen from becoming rich. The choice is yours. You can spend your life maintaining an image that others admire, or you can invest your time in building real wealth, learning new skills, and creating a future where you are free. The truly rich always choose wisely. They understand that impact matters more than attention, and that time is the most valuable asset they will ever own. 4. The power of financial discipline. Another major reason why rich people often appear to look poor is discipline. Discipline is the quiet strength that allows them to control their desires, manage their resources, and stay focused on long-term goals. While many people give in to impulse and spend money to satisfy temporary cravings or impress others, the wealthy understand the importance of restraint. They don't buy things they don't need. They don't let emotions like excitement, envy, or fear drive their spending. Every financial decision they make is intentional, aimed at securing freedom and building a future that is independent of outside pressures. When rich people earn money, they think long-term. They recognize that every dollar saved and wisely invested is a step closer to financial independence. They understand that money is not meant to be burned quickly on fleeting pleasures. It is a tool that can grow quietly and multiply over time. In contrast, most people fall into a pattern of increasing expenses whenever their income rises. They receive a raise or earn a bonus and immediately upgrade their lifestyle. A bigger house, a luxury car, expensive vacations, or fancy restaurants. While these things provide temporary satisfaction, they do not create lasting wealth. The lifestyle inflation traps many in a cycle of earning and spending without ever gaining real freedom. Rich people do the opposite. When they earn more, they save more, invest more, and maintain a lifestyle that is sustainable. Their spending habits do not reflect their earnings because they understand a crucial secret. You don't become rich by how much you earn. You become rich by how much you keep. They know that wealth is built quietly through discipline, patience, and smart financial choices, not through flashy purchases or public displays of success. This disciplined approach allows them to live below their means, even when they could afford extravagance. Many millionaires drive modest cars, wear simple clothes, and live in homes that are comfortable but not showy. Their satisfaction comes not from external approval, but from the knowledge that they are secure, independent, and free. Financial discipline also protects them from risk. By living within their means and prioritizing investment over consumption, they can take calculated risks in business and wealth-building opportunities without jeopardizing their stability. They are patient and strategic, knowing that slow, consistent growth is more powerful than rapid, flashy spending. Over time, this quiet, disciplined approach compounds, creating real, long-lasting wealth. This is why so many truly rich people appear simple or even modest. They do not feel the need to advertise their success because their wealth is internal, stable, and lasting. Discipline is their secret weapon, and it is what allows them to live freely, confidently, and independently without ever having to prove anything to anyone. The secret of the invisible. Rich. Have you ever noticed someone who dresses simply, drives an old car, and seems to live a quiet, ordinary life, only to later discover that they own multiple businesses, land, or investments worth millions? These are the invisible rich. Unlike those who flaunt wealth for attention, the invisible rich blend into everyday life. They do not feel the need to impress anyone because their confidence comes from within. They live quietly, making decisions that protect and grow their wealth, while remaining mostly unnoticed by the world. Their simplicity is not a sign of poverty. It is a reflection of wisdom and restraint. The invisible rich understand a critical truth about money and life. The more people know about your money, the more they want to take it from you. This awareness guides their actions. They avoid ostentation, not because they cannot afford luxury, but because they value privacy and peace of mind. They understand that showing off wealth can bring unwanted attention, stress, and even danger. By staying humble, they protect their freedom and ensure that their wealth continues to work quietly for them. Their focus is not on impressing others, but on building security, independence, and lasting stability. While many chase fame, recognition, and the approval of others, the invisible rich chase control, calmness, and personal freedom. They prioritize what truly matters: time, relationships, health, and the ability to make choices without pressure. Their satisfaction comes from small, meaningful experiences: enjoying a family dinner, taking walks in nature, learning new skills, or spending uninterrupted time with loved ones. They understand that happiness does not require a public display, and they do not need to post about their wealth or achievements to feel fulfilled. This quiet approach to wealth allows them to focus on growth and long-term success. They invest, save, and make strategic decisions, all while living modestly. They are patient and deliberate, knowing that real wealth grows over time and does not need constant validation. The invisible rich measure life differently. Their freedom, security, and peace are far more valuable than material displays or social approval. If you want to build true wealth, you should aim to follow this path. Stop chasing appearances. Stop seeking recognition for what you own. Instead, focus on building real assets, growing knowledge, and creating a life of freedom. The goal is not to look rich. The goal is to be rich in silence, living life on your terms, enjoying peace, privacy, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are truly free. The trap of showing off. Now let's discuss a trap that many people unknowingly fall into: the show-off trap. This trap begins subtly. Someone earns a little more money than before, and suddenly they feel the need to display it to the world. They buy a car they cannot truly afford, rent a house that stretches their budget, or spend lavishly on gadgets, fashion, and entertainment. They post pictures online, carefully curated, to show a lifestyle that seems successful, glamorous, and enviable. At first, it feels satisfying. Compliments, likes, and attention provide a temporary sense of accomplishment. But this feeling is fleeting and dangerous. Once you begin showing off, it becomes a never-ending cycle. You start feeling pressure to maintain an image that may not reflect your real financial situation. Every decision becomes influenced by the need to impress others, not by what is truly smart, necessary, or valuable. Over time, your life transforms into a performance, a series of staged moments designed for the approval of others rather than your own fulfillment. You may spend thousands trying to appear successful, but in reality, you are giving away your freedom, time, and peace for external validation. Most of the people you aim to impress don't even care about your lifestyle, yet you allow your actions to be dictated by them. Rich people, however, are aware of this trap and actively avoid it. They understand that wealth shown is wealth gone. Displaying money, possessions, or luxury is not a sign of true success. Instead, they use money to create freedom, security, and opportunities. They invest quietly, start businesses, buy assets, and plan strategically, letting their wealth grow in the background without broadcasting it. They understand that true power and wealth come from control, patience, and discipline, not public recognition. The trap of showing off is also deeply psychological. It comes from insecurity, comparison, and the fear of being judged as not enough. When you chase applause or validation, you sacrifice the chance to build real wealth because your energy is spent on appearance rather than substance. Rich people avoid this because they live for themselves, not for the opinions of others. They know that living for others' approval is dangerous. As the saying goes, if you live for others' approval, you'll die from their rejection. The solution is simple but powerful. Stop caring about what others think and start focusing on your own financial independence. Build quietly, spend wisely, and invest with purpose. Let your money grow without the need to show it off. When you do this, you free yourself from the trap of performance and embrace the true essence of wealth: freedom, security, and peace. The rich do not perform for applause. They live for their own freedom. And that, my friend, is the most important lesson about money that most people never learn. 7. The mindset of long-term thinkers. Here's a secret that most people overlook. Rich people think long-term, while poor people think short-term. This is one of the most important differences between those who build lasting wealth and those who constantly struggle financially. When a person with a short-term mindset earns money, their first thought is often, "What can I spend it on today?" They focus on immediate gratification, a new gadget, a night out, or an expensive meal. These choices may bring temporary pleasure, but they rarely contribute to long-term success or financial security. On the other hand, rich people ask a very different question. What can I build in 10 years? Their perspective is not about instant satisfaction, but about strategic growth and lasting results. Every decision, every investment, every action is evaluated through the lens of the future. They understand that wealth is not created overnight, and that meaningful progress requires patience, planning, and the willingness to delay pleasure today in order to enjoy a much larger reward later. This long-term thinking is what allows them to make smarter decisions, avoid impulsive spending, and create opportunities that compound over time. Thinking long-term affects more than just money. It changes the way you approach life. People with a short-term mindset often waste resources on things that lose value quickly. They may buy flashy items that depreciate the moment they leave the store, or chase trends that provide no lasting benefit. Rich people, however, focus on things that grow in value. Investing in education, building skills, starting businesses, or acquiring assets like real estate and stocks. They understand that what you build today can multiply tomorrow, creating freedom, security, and opportunities that a short-term approach could never achieve. This mindset also explains why rich people often look poor. They are not concerned with appearances or impressing others. They don't buy luxury items just to look wealthy. Instead, They invest, save, and work strategically, knowing that the real reward is freedom and independence in the future. They delay comfort and pleasure today to ensure they enjoy a life of abundance later. Meanwhile, those with short-term thinking chase immediate comfort, often sacrificing long-term stability. They may feel wealthy for a moment, but over time they fall behind because they prioritize spending over building. If you want to become rich, the first step is to train your mind to think long-term. Every smart decision you make today, saving money, learning a new skill, investing in assets, is a seed for your future success. Over time, these small, consistent actions compound into enormous results. Long-term thinking transforms not only your finances, but your entire approach to life. It helps you stay disciplined, avoid distractions, and focus on what truly matters. Remember this: wealth is not about what you acquire today. It is about what you build and preserve for tomorrow. By adopting a long-term mindset, you align yourself with the habits of the truly rich, ensuring that your future is secure, abundant, and free from the pressures of short-term thinking. 8. Simplicity is the ultimate luxury. Let's take a moment to focus on something that many people completely overlook: simplicity. While the world often equates wealth with extravagance, the truly rich understand a different kind of power: the power of living simply. Simplicity is not about lacking. It is about clarity, focus, and freedom. The simpler your life, the clearer your mind becomes. When you own fewer things, you have fewer distractions, fewer responsibilities, and ultimately, more peace. True wealth is often invisible because it is not tied to possessions or appearances, but to the freedom that simplicity creates. Many people who struggle financially live in mental chaos. Their lives are cluttered not just with objects, but with obligations, debt, and endless desires. They feel the constant pressure to acquire more, impress others, and maintain appearances. Every decision is weighed against social expectation or fear of missing out. This chaos consumes energy, attention, and time, leaving them constantly stressed, anxious, and unable to focus on what truly matters. In contrast, rich people structure their lives around simplicity. They reduce clutter, prioritize essentials, and focus on what brings real value: health, family, purpose, and the freedom to make choices on their own terms. This principle of simplicity can be seen in the daily routines of billionaires and highly successful individuals. Many of them wear the same style of clothes every day, minimizing decisions that do not matter. By avoiding the distraction of choosing what to wear, they conserve mental energy for more important tasks: creativity, strategy, and long-term planning. Their wealth is not expressed through luxury possessions or decorative lifestyles. It is expressed through wisdom, focus, and intentional living. Every choice they make is deliberate. Every resource they own serves a purpose, and every moment of their time is used to grow freedom rather than show status. Simplicity also creates inner wealth. When your life is free of excess, your mind becomes more peaceful. You stop comparing yourself to others, stop chasing fleeting trends, and stop worrying about appearances. The rich understand that external wealth without internal clarity is meaningless. They decorate their minds with knowledge, skills, and experiences, rather than their homes with opulent possessions. They know that the feeling of being rich comes from living freely, purposefully, and without unnecessary complications, not from showing off money or material items. So, the next time you see someone living a simple life, don't underestimate them. They might be far wealthier than anyone realizes. Their riches are quiet, stable, and powerful because they come from discipline, focus, and intentional choices. The ultimate secret they know is this: you do not need to look rich to be wealthy. True richness comes from feeling rich inside, enjoying a life of freedom, clarity, and simplicity. This is the ultimate luxury, and it is far more valuable than anything money can buy. 9. The secret of emotional control. Another reason why rich people often appear to look poor is that they possess emotional control. While many people let their feelings dictate their actions, the wealthy have mastered the ability to separate emotion from decision-making. They don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone, nor do they compare themselves to others or compete for social validation. When someone flaunts wealth, they do not get jealous or feel inferior. They understand that jealousy and envy are destructive emotions. They take away peace, cloud judgment, and ultimately lead to poor choices. Emotional control allows them to maintain calmness, focus, and clarity, which are far more valuable than any temporary thrill that comes from showing off. Jealousy, impatience, and insecurity are common traps that keep many people from building real wealth. When driven by emotion, people often make impulsive purchases, invest poorly, or chase trends that do not benefit them in the long run. The rich recognize this pattern and intentionally avoid it. They understand that the game of life is not about who looks better, who drives a flashier car, or who lives a more glamorous lifestyle. The game is about who lives better, smarter, and freer. By controlling emotions, they gain a significant advantage. Calmness becomes their superpower, allowing them to make thoughtful, strategic, and disciplined financial decisions. This emotional discipline directly affects the way they manage money. Unlike those who buy things to fill emptiness or to feel powerful, the wealthy use money logically and purposefully. They do not allow temporary emotions like excitement, fear, or envy to guide spending. Instead, they build real power through discipline, patience, and rational planning. They know that emotional spending erodes freedom, creates unnecessary stress, and prevents long-term growth. By staying calm, they maintain control over their financial decisions and ensure that every dollar serves a meaningful purpose, whether in investments, businesses, or personal development. Emotional control also allows the rich to remain unaffected by societal pressures and trends. They do not follow what is considered in or popular unless it aligns with their goals. While others may constantly compare their lives to friends, neighbors, or social media influencers, the wealthy focus on their own path, guided by strategy, vision, and logic. This independence gives them peace of mind, stability, and a sense of freedom that is impossible to achieve when living under the influence of emotion. This is why the rich often look poor. They do not use money to satisfy fleeting emotions or impress others. Instead, they use it with purpose, strategy, and patience. They understand that wealth is not a reflection of their emotions, but a product of calm, disciplined, and intelligent decisions. Emotional control is a secret power that allows them to think long-term, act wisely, and live freely, which ultimately separates the truly wealthy from everyone else. 10. The secret to becoming truly rich. Now that you understand why rich people often look poor, it's time to focus on the secrets you can apply to your own life. True wealth is not measured by appearances, flashy cars, or designer clothes. It is measured by freedom, independence, and the ability to live life on your own terms. The first step is to stop trying to look rich. Many people spend their lives chasing approval, buying things to impress others, and seeking validation from the outside world. This is a trap that keeps them from real wealth. Instead, shift your focus from appearances to financial freedom. Let your actions, investments, and decisions build a life that no one can take away. Investing before impressing is another key principle. Every dollar spent to show off is a dollar lost from potential growth. Rich people understand this, which is why they prioritize investments over consumption. Whether it is a business, stocks, real estate, or self-education, let your money work quietly for you. By doing this consistently, wealth grows in the background, even if no one notices. Over time, the results compound, creating true freedom that flashy items could never provide. Protecting your time is equally crucial. Time is the most valuable asset you have, more precious than money itself. Use it wisely to learn, create, and grow opportunities. Avoid distractions, trivial comparisons, and social pressures that waste your energy. The rich understand that peace of mind and focus are more valuable than any luxury item. By dedicating your hours to meaningful growth, you build skills, experiences, and opportunities that generate long-term success. Emotional control is another secret. Avoid spending money to fill emptiness or impress others. The wealthy make financial decisions with logic, patience, and purpose, rather than emotion. By controlling impulses, jealousy, and envy, you free yourself from stress and poor choices, allowing your wealth to grow steadily and quietly. Similarly, living below your means is critical. Save and invest the difference between what you earn and what you spend. Lifestyle inflation is one of the fastest ways to lose financial freedom. while simplicity and restraint compound wealth and peace over time. Thinking long-term changes everything. Delay short-term pleasure for lasting results. Build assets today that will reward you tomorrow. Value simplicity, clarity, and mental space, because these are the ultimate luxuries that enable focus, freedom, and happiness. When you apply these principles consistently, you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You walk through life with quiet confidence, knowing your money, your decisions, and your time are all aligned with your future success. Remember this powerful truth. The goal is not to look rich, but to be free. Freedom is the highest form of wealth. When you achieve it, external appearances no longer matter. You may look simple on the outside, but inside, you are wealthy in the most important way. You are free to live life on your terms, build your dreams, and enjoy peace of mind. By following these principles, you become part of the invisible, quietly powerful group of people who understand that true richness comes from freedom, discipline, and focus, not from appearances. Final words: silent rich, strong mind. My friend, don't let the world fool you. Don't let social media, flashy advertisements, or the opinions of others define your success. The cars, the brands, the big houses, and the luxury items you see online or on TV may look impressive, but they do not guarantee happiness, freedom, or peace of mind. True richness is invisible, quiet, and built on wisdom, discipline, and patience. It is not measured by what others see, but by the freedom, security, and clarity you experience in your life. Rich people often look poor because they have learned this secret. They are rich in wisdom. They know how to build wealth quietly, protect it wisely, and live humbly without the need for recognition. They prioritize time, focus, and long-term growth over temporary validation. Their calmness, discipline, and clarity allow them to make smart decisions that compound over time. The external simplicity you see is not a lack of resources. It is the result of a mind that values freedom over appearance, substance over show, and patience over impulsiveness. Here at English Achieve, my friend, we not only grow your English skills together, but also your mindset. We learn lessons that empower you to think differently, make better choices, and create a life of independence and freedom. So start today. Stop showing off. Start growing. Stop chasing appearances. Start chasing your personal freedom. Focus on learning, investing, and living intentionally. One day, you will realize that the richest life is not the loudest or the flashiest, but the calm, simple, peaceful, and free life quietly built in silence. If this message inspired you, remember to like, share, and subscribe to English Achieve for more powerful life lessons delivered in simple English. Your growth, both in language and mindset, begins with action, discipline, and the courage to live your life on your own terms.